Hey, this is 1001 Investing Channel. We are here with tips and secrets about investing. So please pay attention to this audio. Myth.3. The best way to minimize risk is to diversify and hold, for the long term. Diversify and hold. Everybody knows that's the safest way to invest in the stock market, right? But then again, at one time everybody knew the earth was flat. The fact is, a long-term diversified portfolio would have had a zero rate of return for 37 years from 1905 to 1942, for 18 years from 1965 to 1983, and from 2000 to 2005. 60 years out of 100. If you know how to invest, meaning you understand rule number 1 and know how to find a wonderful company at an attractive price, then you do not diversify your money into 50 stocks or an index mutual fund. You focus on a few businesses that you understand. You buy when the big guys, the fund managers who control the market, are fearful, and you sell when they are greedy. Shocking, no? And if you don't know what I mean by this, you will by the end of this book. Promise. Today more than 80% of the money in the market is invested by fund managers, pension funds, banking funds, insurance funds, and mutual funds. As I indicated in the introduction, this is what is known as institutional money. Out of $17 trillion, the big guys manage more than $14 trillion of it. In other words, the fund managers are the market. When they move billions of dollars into a stock, the price of that stock goes up. When they take their money out, the price of that stock goes down. Their effect on the market is so huge that if they decide to sell suddenly, they can generate a massive crash. Understanding this fact is central to rule number 1. The fund managers control the price of almost all the stocks in the market, but they can't easily get out when they want to. You and I, however, can be in or out of the market within seconds. So what happens in the long run if the baby boom money that drove the market up starts to come out as the baby boomers retire? Or what if some other event draws money out of the market? As mutual funds drop in value, investors react by withdrawing money faster from the funds, which ultimately puts the market into free fall. The irony is that while, in theory, investing for the long run in a diversified mutual fund lowers risk, such an investment strategy in this market actually raises risk. In this market there's no such thing as a balanced portfolio that reduces your exposure to market risk, no matter how loudly the financial services industry salesman shouted. If this market crashes, fund managers who play these games may find themselves rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If you don't think a total stock market meltdown can happen in a modern economy, think again. It just happened over the last 10 years in Japan, whose stock market lost 85% of its value from 1992 to 2002. It hasn't recovered yet. And Japan's boomers are about 10 years older than America's. Political and economic factors prompted a baby boom in Japan prior to the start of World War II. If America's market tanks 85%, the Dow will be at 1500. It happened during the 1930s. It can happen again. Diversification spreads you out too thin and guarantees a market rate of return, meaning whatever happens to the whole market happens to you. Obviously there are hundreds of great businesses available to buy, but if you have a job and a family and don't want to be married to your computer, you don't have time to keep up with more than a few. If you buy businesses you don't keep up with, you'll inevitably violate rule number 1 with respect to some, causing your overall return to drop. As rule number 1 business buyers, we pick a few choice businesses in different sectors of the market. So even though we aren't diversifying like mutual fund managers by buying dozens, if not hundreds, of different companies at once, we'll be setting up a portfolio that reflects different categories of businesses. But exactly how many companies you can buy into will depend on how much money you have to invest, and I'll tell you what the right proportional relationship is. Diversification is for people who have 30 years to go, have no desire whatsoever to learn how to invest, and are going to be happy with an 8% yearly return and a minimum standard of living in retirement. Our goal is to find wonderful companies, buy them at really attractive prices, and then let the market do its thing, which means eventually the market will price these businesses correctly at their value. In a few weeks, months, or years we're a lot richer than we are right now. That's what we want to do. But to do that, we have to stop being ignorant investors being taken advantage of by the entire financial services industry and start being knowledgeable. Rule number 1: investors who, instead of being the prey, outfox the predators. In the mid-1960s, my dad suggested I put money in a diversified mutual fund. I invested $600 and forgot about it. 18 years later, my investment was worth $400. Imagine if I were 45 years old in the mid-1960s and I invested $60,000 instead of $600.
Thanks for watching. I will upload a video every day with tips and solutions. So, for more, please like it and subscribe. It's free. Bye-bye.